Okay.
We're back like we never left.
Because we didn't. So yeah, I just talked about how whenever I tend to drink, I lose my voice because of it. And my throat will hurt, all of that. So that's definitely a consequence of it because this is not a good time because now I'm struggling to speak. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the consequences of our actions as it pertains to health. Because we're in a huge health epidemic right now. And it's really only a matter of how did we get here and what does the future hold for us as a country, the world in general. But we're probably going to focus more so on America because we kind of have the worst end of it as far as like all the first world countries that deal with this issue. So yeah, we're going to be discussing the health epidemic and how we got here. And that encompasses, when we talk about health, we're talking about everything encompassing physical, mental, spiritual, the
Exactly.
overall encompassing our well-being, right? We're also going to discuss how God tells us to view and handle our personal health. So let's get into it.
All right.
Right? We're going to be, actually, let me read off a few statistics or just a few things that I found interesting.
Give the people some of that good data.
So, in a 2021 edition of the U.S. Healthcare from a Global Perspective report provided by the Commonwealth Fund, it was reported that people in the U.S. experienced the worst health outcomes overall of any high-income nation. That's crazy.
So that means that it's not just us or like the wealthy. It's not just them like eating right. It really becomes the mindset behind
Yeah.
it. I think that we have all the knowledge in the world right now, but the thing is, a lot of times we don't want one to tell us when we're wrong. It's just like, hey, I got this good advice for you. It's like, hey, who are you? Because I'm at a certain status to where I can't receive anything from you because I don't deem you worthy enough, because that in itself is an unhealthy mindset,
Yeah.
and of course those things, what you eat, as I guess the old adage would say, you are what you eat. And I think there is some truth to that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying because at the end of the day, it does stem from our habits, which are things that stem from our mind,
Yes.
So, which is funny because another finding in this same report says that the U.S. has the lowest life expectancy at birth and the highest death rates for avoidable or treatable conditions. We have the highest death rates for avoidable and treatable conditions.
Yeah.
That means we can avoid them, but we're dying the most from these things.
Yeah, it's because I think that we're at a point to where, of course, everything is about the moolah. Everything is about the bottom line. When you're talking about the big pharma, everything is a quick fix. Like, hey, you got this ailment, we got this pill for you. It's not going to fix the problem, but it will basically suppress it enough to where you think that it is taking you out of that dis-ease.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because people don't understand, like, the wording is like everything. So we tend to say disease. Really, it's a dis-ease, meaning it's something that shouldn't be a part of what you was already created for. Like, of course, in the kingdom, when God first created us, or created us, it wasn't anything dealing with disease.
Until we fell from humanity,
Exactly.
fell from grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I like what you were saying about the quick fix, because that's kind of what our first topic relates to, which is diet culture. And how is diet culture a problem? Is this
Yeah.
something we need to be looking into? Because when it comes to diet culture, there's so many facets of it that it can end up being very confusing and frustrating for people that really do want to live a healthy lifestyle, but they're not sure how. And so they depend on certain diets to help them reach their goals. But it's either maybe the diet doesn't agree with their body, or maybe they're not doing the diet completely, and they just maybe don't have the discipline to do it. Or maybe there's something within the diet itself that's unhealthy, you know? Like, I was just talking to you about how people who run marathons and stuff like that, like they used to like carb load before the marathon.
Exactly.
But now that's considered, unhealthy to do. And I was like, well, now what do? You probably fuel up on proteins, right? Like, isn't that, because you used to run track. So is that something you would do?
Well, I mean, definitely the protein thing, but I think that our body compositions is very different. And it's also, I mean, of course, it's the same because we're all human beings, but at the same time, your body may, like for a lot of protein or a lot of carbs, it may, you may have a different outcome than I may have. But like from a protein standpoint, I think you need to eat like light things that has good fats, and just real like salmon. I think salmon is probably like one of the best. I'm gonna say like the wild caught salmon. That's like the best. That doesn't have all of the I would say the growth hormones that they put in farm raised things and stuff like that. So yeah. I think it just all depends. Of course, everybody know about fruits, but not having too much. I think it's just really you understanding and listening to your body, because part of health and dieting. And I want to actually kind of I'm not gonna say segue, but just to our listeners, dieting. What dieting means is your ability to restrict, but also definitely manage everything about what you're doing and everything. So just definitely understand that it's a certain type of discipline. So
yeah, no, it really is. It's so funny. You talked about how wild caught salmon is like the healthiest of all the salmon types that you can pretty much get, and I agree with you. But then recently I heard that it's not, like it's the worst one. And I'm like,
what?
Oh my God. Yeah. And that's the thing about this diet culture that we're in. It's like you never really know what you're eating. And then when you think you know what you're eating, it may not be as healthy as you might think. And then the fruit thing, right? What you were just saying about, adding fruits to your diet, but maybe not too many because it's all sugary and stuff like that, right? Well, I know someone who's a fruitarian. All he eats is fruits. Like, and he's fairly healthy. I would think. I don't know his health history, but yeah, it's, it brings me to a few videos, a few TikToks that I want to watch, because it kind of encompasses the cultural problem of diet culture itself. So I'll bring up the first video. See, she said she's not afraid of, whatever.
Lion, tigers, and bears.
Yeah, exactly. But diet culture made her scared of eating a whole banana. I can relate to that. Because even the fruit thing, like for a long time, I tried to eat like a bunch of fruits, to put, I don't know, healthy things into my system.
Yeah.
And now I'm hearing fruit is too sugary. You shouldn't eat it all the time like that. And I'm like,
I actually, to be honest, I really don't agree with that at all. I really just think that
at all?
Well, you said, far as eating too many, fruits. I think that, okay, of course, if you're not balancing it out with like water or, just, and also water soluble, things. I mean, fruit is a water soluble.
See, who pays attention to terms like that? I don't.
I mean, because it's in it, a lot of stuff that grows from the earth is water soluble, and it creates its own type of fruit juice, which is, I think it's H3O.
Yeah, I heard it.
So
touched
like
on that a
watermelon,
little.
it's a actually H3O type of, a liquid that our, body needs to survive. And I've heard some of the craziest things to where people say, hey, we're not supposed to even be drinking water. That's stupid. Just go out there in the desert and be out there for 30 days and 30 nights like Jesus.
You'll take any water at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be trying to suck the juice out of a cactus.
Cactus juice. Aw, you like Avatar now.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For
Everybody.
those who don't know, that was an Avatar: The Last Airbender reference that he just made. But
yes.
yeah. Anyway, no, yeah, seriously. But I can kind of understand. So it's like what you were saying about balance and listening to your body, because I really had to do that the past couple of years. Well, really past like couple decades, because like, for example, I haven't been able to fully consume watermelon. Like, I'm allergic to it. And you could talk to someone else and they'll be like, but watermelon's healthy. And I'll be like, yeah, it's healthy, but not for me. So what does that tell you? Like, everyone's body is different.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, earlier. Like, even when they made the biometric system for, because the I would say Western medicine made like, hey, if you're 5'8" and you need to be 145 pounds, which is the perfect weight for you.
Isn't that the BMI thing?
Yeah. It's biometric.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I swear I didn't know. That's BMI. Wait, what does BMI stand for?
I forgot, but
I thought it was body measurement index.
Yeah.
That's biometrics too?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Is it really?
Our producer needs to fact check that,
Right, because I don't know.
I can't remember.
I feel like there's two
everything.
different things, because I think the body mass index is what you said,
But it definitely
aligns.
relates to the body.
Yeah, it does. Because like BMI, it like relates the height to weight ratio of like what's appropriate depending on your height. And then biometrics, what I just got done for the first time like a month ago, it literally expands into your muscle and body fat composition inside your body. And it's actually pretty cool. Everyone should do it, actually. Everyone should try to get their biometrics done to kind of see where you are.
Exactly. So that is our health tip of the day. Go and get yourself checked out, because because you look good and you may even feel good, I still think that it's always good to have that precursor, or that you just making sure that you are trying to be just responsible, because as you get older, your body changes and stuff doesn't break down.
I started noticing that. I started getting random aches like in my knee, and in my thigh, and like in my forearm. Yeah, like I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
and then it started happening around 26. I was like, I don't get random aches and pains. I even still get them, and I actually work out consistently now.
Yeah, but she been hard in the gym. Her in Kenya,
Sure
so
have.
Shout out to Kenya.
Week 4 coming up.
She actually got Mirakle on her grind.
She did. She even got me waking up at 6 a.m. This is how dedicated I am. I don't wake up at no 6 a.m.
Exactly. So as you see that we're not just talking and telling people.
We do this.
Yes.
No, really, because get your blood work done too. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I got my blood work done about a year ago. Found out I had high cholesterol. You would never think, right?
Yeah.
But when you get your blood work done, you can see kind of everything that's going on. You can kind of see your iron levels. Actually found out my iron was too high, and I had to adjust my diet. It was too high. Usually for women, it's too low. So I was very confused. I'm like, what am I doing where my iron is too high? So I had to look at my diet. I take chlorophyll pills every day, 6 of them. At that point,
she overcompensates people sometimes.
No, I don't. That's what the packaging said to do. And it was working. I was putting greens in my system, because I don't eat greens every day. I don't. But I realized,
that's a thing right there.
I realized from a random comment on a Dr. Berg video, shout out to Dr. Berg, that I was taking too much chlorophyll, and that was raising my iron levels. So I decreased it.
Well, she actually didn't need Dr. Berg for that because I told her that. And
That's not what you said.
I promise you.
That's not what. No. You said that
I said
I
you
might
do
have been
too
taking
much.
too much, but you had no basis for saying that.
Well, see, I'm operating in the spirit, so in my spirit, I felt like you was.
So I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of my body, the body the body that is borrowed.
Here's the difference between biometrics and body mass index. So body mass index is basically just the derivative, the value derived from the mass or your weight and height of a person.
Okay.
So it's basically just the, I guess
Height to weight ratio.
The ratio, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess there's ideal heights and weights for, specific people at specific heights. And then biometrics is, what a lot of people are getting into with fingerprints, facial recognition, eye scans, different things like that. So basically how you identify a person. So the unique the physiology of people.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
the fingerprints,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
DNA,
sense.
blood, that
makes
sort of
sense.
thing.
Yeah.
That's probably way more accurate because
Yep.
I've heard a long time ago that BMI
Hopefully
has
everybody
been
heard that as well. So.
Yeah, they should,
Right.
they should have heard it.
right,
Okay.
right, and I was saying biometrics are probably way more accurate because with the BMI system, I know that's been like debunked, not debunked, but turned over as not as accurate like years ago, which, yeah, that makes sense because, muscle weighs more than fat. And so you got, people like me who are trying to build more muscle. And so I might gain more weight due to the muscle gain. And so my BMI might look like it's a little off or something like that, right? And so it's not accurate for everybody. But I would say for a regular sedentary person who doesn't have any particular thing they're trying to accomplish with their body, I would say the BMI is probably accurate to you to a certain degree and a good system to at least start off with. Exactly. But definitely biometrics would be a lot more accurate.
Yes.
And blood work. Get that blood work done.
Yes. I got something that you kind of brought it up. So you know how I would say when we was little, maybe we were at grade school or like second or third grade, or even just reading on a milk carton at school, they would have that little food chart. And, that food chart was like, hey, you need to get grains, you need to get milk, blah, blah, blah. And
food pyramids also been
exactly
thrown out.
Exactly. Because all of that was just a marketing thing.
Ooh, glad you said that. Next video.
Yep.
Put that on.
Watch out for this diet culture marketing the next time you're at the store. All food is guilt-free, it's not an ingredient. Net carb is also not a regulated term. There's no definition of a superfood. It's all pretty super, except the ones you maybe don't like. Wellness doesn't necessarily make it better, and junk also not an ingredient. And just because you can't pronounce an ingredient doesn't mean it's bad. And the term fit was everywhere. Eating these things won't determine your fitness level. One that grinds my personal gears, the term clean. There's no dirt on it, it's clean. And sometimes the healthiest choice is choosing the real ice cream or the real pasta. Remember not to let food marketing dictate your choices.
That's so funny because I'm literally in the marketing industry. Like I work in the marketing industry and I still fall for all this.
Yeah. See, I don't. I'm more old school. I'm more one of them rugged country people from Mississippi, which I am from Mississippi. So shout out to all my Mississippi people who are watching. But yeah, I never just really allowed stuff like that to like get to me. Like I never been a person to want to eat the high protein bars and stuff like that. And that is before I actually was in the industry. So I'm a sales engineer, and I've been to some places that will really, really shock you all on what they're putting inside of a lot of the clean and protein stuff that we say. Yes, protein is protein, but not all protein is good protein.
And I didn't know that until I talked to you. Like I didn't realize, like when we went to go get smoothies one day, right?
Yeah.
And they were asking if I want to get protein in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course, I want protein in it. But then you're like, well, ask them what type of protein that they have.
Exactly.
And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, and you said that it could probably be soy protein. And I was like, I never even thought about that.
Yep.
And you're like, ask if they have plant protein to substitute it if they normally put soy in it. And I was like, I never even thought about that.
Exactly. So the marketing term is that, yes, we have plant protein, which the soybean plant is
a protein.
Exactly.
I mean, is a plant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's marketed to us like, oh yeah, I'm healthy because I'm eating a plant, but a plant that has been on the molecular level, it has been changed. The whole composition has been changed just so it could fit whatever that company needs to use it for. So of course, I'm just so I won't get in trouble, but I've been.
Yeah, don't say too much.
Yeah, exactly. I was in Illinois, and
you already said too much.
But anyway, I'm already there. I was in Illinois, and I was at this plant, and I was like, man, there's a lot of soybean out there, and how they actually break it down, and then of course turning it into a powder, blah blah blah. But of course, it's almost like if you go to the store and you say, hey, the cheaper option of cranberry juice is a cranberry juice concentrate, is where they, you're going to use a derivative of that cranberry juice or whatever. So, and so you're not going to get like I would say the main and the good.
You're not getting actual cranberry juice.
Yeah, you getting
but they still call it cranberry juice.
Yeah. So you're getting it, but it's not. It's almost if you filter something too much to where that it's not even healthy no more. It's just like if you mix. Okay, you got water, and then you put a tea bag or some Kool-Aid in there, and you put sugar. The more sugar that you put in it, it's
you can no longer call it water.
Exactly. It has water in it.
Yeah.
And so
what doesn't,
Exactly. And so people like, oh yeah, I'm drinking this, I'm drinking my protein shake, it has water in it, blah blah blah. I see it all the time because I'm a very visual person. When I'm at Starbucks, okay, coffee itself isn't bad, but people don't think about the amount of sugar that's in each one of those pumps of syrup that they put in there.
It's not even coffee at that point.
Exactly.
It's ice cream.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually up to like 12 to 26 cubes of sugar. That's in like 6 pumps. Because I see it, they do 3 pumps of this, 3 pumps of this, and so you marketing in the health industry is everything, so we definitely got to be careful on what we put in our bodies, and also how it can affect our mood and our system, and also what we even passing down to our kids and everything.
Yeah, that's so true, because I always think about, I follow a lot of fitness influencers and people who make, meal prep and talk about health and wellness and stuff like that, because those are things I'm interested in. And then, they'll talk about these things and you'll see progress in their bodies and, the foods that they eat. And then they'll do an announcement like maybe 3 years later saying they have cancer, or saying they have fibroids, or saying they, have pre-diabetes. And you're like, but this is like the healthiest person that I've ever seen. How can they get these things? And it's because of what they're consuming, and they don't realize that that's actually doing harm to their bodies.
Yeah.
Contrary to what they believe. Because a lot of them, like for example, people don't realize we actually really should not be eating grains like that.
Yeah. And she actually put me on that. And at first I was like, I thought eating oatmeal and
I know,
all of that
because I'm
stuff
actually
is
surprised
good.
You just agreed with me.
Yeah.
Because you tried to fight me on that for
a
minute.
I did. You
but things like
throw shots,
but things like that can add on like specific free radicals in your body that can cause cancer later on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so crazy how much we don't know that what we're doing to our bodies. And, at some point you just got to trust God and believe that, he can get you through whatever that you're going through. And so there's that. But it's like at the same time, being mindful about what you're consuming and how your body reacts to it. That's why I say get blood work done and pay attention to what you're consuming and what you're buying in the stores and stuff like that.
Yeah, and as far as a Avatar quote, because I've been watching so much Avatar.
Oh, you a fan. Wow.
Uncle Iroh said, "Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame."
You did a pretty good impression.
Yes.
It was a pretty good one.
It's not good enough.
Oh. So.
Yeah, you gotta really weigh it out more.
Yeah.
True humility. See, I can't do it with my voice right now.
Okay, Zuko. You have to listen.
What are you doing?
So,
Okay,
if you all haven't watched Avatar,
many gems. If you haven't watched it, you just don't know.
We're going to eventually, talk about everything because
we are.
Yes, because there's so much spiritual food on Avatar that it's not just a cartoon. It's a lifestyle. It's a brand in itself, and it will bring some awakening to just anybody that's willing to listen and grow. And that's what this podcast platform is all about. It's about us being conscious about ourselves and also who we are and how we want to be in this world, and also understanding that life is really a continuous improvement and it's a journey and not a destination. And so when you learn things, you want to be able to share it, and that's what we try to do, and we do as Christians, is that, hey, I love you as my brother or my sister, no matter what your background is. I love you so much that based on what we know and what we put our faith in, we don't want you to lose your life and not know the real true love of Christ.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, and this all of this definitely plays into what we're talking about right now. So we want to regurgitate what we have learned so that you can actually benefit from it, and then you can also help others, because we want to build a community here at the Conscious Outlet and the Quality Entertainment Group. And so that is really, really important. I think we as people got to get away from the victim mentality. I don't care what's your background. A lot of times people look at what we're talking about as, oh, once I say something that may hurt your feelings or whatever. And you know what? I like to give real examples or whatever. So it's been times that we have talked about like the word pride, because I have a friend or a Instagram friend. Anything that we said that was about correction or reproof, he has a problem with it. And I'm like, man, we're not even talking about the LGBT thing. I'm like, man, we want like, this is our opinion, and hey, you either can take it or you don't, and then you move on. But this is what our platform is about. We want to truly build a community, and it's okay if you offend somebody if it's going to benefit them in the future. There may be someone watching this right now in another country, be like, you know what? I can tell that this guy really cares, and he's not trying to, bash anybody or, trying to be a bigot or whatever. Because anything that I come on here and actually talk about, I actually live. Not perfect, not even near that. But what I am claiming is just like what a lot of other people is like, hey, I'm a work in progress, and I think that you should be too. So listen to the intent rather than what you feel like, because feelings are fleeting. I feel a lot of things. Sometimes I feel like cussing somebody out, but hey, we gotta move on from that or whatever. So yeah, that's my little segue. That's my little strawberry letter to all of our subscribers and followers, and make sure you do like and comment right now if you got any questions. But
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like you said, we're all about continuous improvement, which is why we're talking about health today, and how it can really affect our lives and the lives that we're trying to live. And so I want to look at this next video, if we have that up.
That's the one we don't have. I have the last one.
Okay, that's fine. Either one.
Doesn't it seem so strange that our society eats so much junk food that eating real food is considered dieting?
Think about that.
That is deep.
When I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, that is so true, because I really try to get in a ketosis state. So basically trying to be on a quote unquote keto diet for the most part, not perfectly at all, but that includes me eating a lot of what the TikToker was saying, eating a lot of real foods.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, because why would that be considered a diet? It should just be considered
because a lot of
lifestyle.
us are lazy. People think because I got family, friends, or coworkers, they eat lean cuisines and stuff, and yes, it has the marketing label of it being lean or healthy, but it's super highly processed stuff. And I'm like, ain't no way that you can think that this is nowhere healthy. Anytime that something
they're probably not concerned about health.
I mean, one of the people I know, they are concerned about the, I'm gonna say you can be concerned, but you also can be ignorant as well at the same time. It's like you can have something good right in your face, and it's like, but this is easier because cooking takes time. Cooking takes patience. You actually having a garden. It's not something like the mindset of it. And I might be, throwing some shots at Mirakle very soon, because she wants a garden, and she was like, "Oh yeah, let's just have a garden." And I'm like, "Well,
never said it was easy. I don't know why he's doing this, but okay."
But at the same time, people don't know the work that it takes behind it, understand it. I'm not saying you, but
you
I'm saying
you're
people.
Shade at me.
I was using it as a precursor, just in case it comes in the future. Yeah. So let that sizzle in your spirit.
Okay.
So.
Anyway, yes. So dieting is something that everyone has probably done at least once in their life, or stuck to some kind of meal plan for themselves to reach certain body goals. I think we've all kind of done that. Even if it was just to say, hey, I'm not going to eat those fries today,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. So, but let's get to what the word has to say about our health and the way we should be taking care of our bodies.
Okay. 2 Peter 1:3. His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life, through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness.
Thank you for that, because my voice is cracked.
Yeah, she over here sounding like Hannah Montana.
That doesn't make sense. I don't know why with that. No, anyway. The Bible doesn't prescribe any specific diet, right? But it does highlight the principle of balance. And we talked about that. Between healthy restraint and enjoyment of rich foods. So in other words, let's just all plan to make a habit of disciplined, healthy eating for our bodies, But on occasion, let yourself enjoy a feast.
Yeah.
Especially of God's good gifts. And so looking forward to the feast will kind of help you keep going during the seasons of restraint, because that's what I do. I eat well all week, and then I eat those 3 chocolate chip cookies on the weekends.
Yes.
And they always make my day.
Indulgence.
Yes. Exactly. You know, proper restraint, discipline, and enjoyment after. It helps you also to have that what's it called? Long-term, what's it called? You know what I'm trying to say.
Long-term fulfillment.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So long-term fulfillment. So yeah, you know, that's something we should all practice at the end of the day. And your diet won't be perfect. Your body will never be perfect. Just make sure you keep in mind what's good for your body and pay attention to that. Yeah. So,
and you know, this, you kind of sparked this actually came on my spirit. So Matthew 6:33, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So that in itself shows me that, hey, having some type of delayed gratification, and you're sowing. We actually, our pastor at the church earlier today, he actually spoke about sowing. And so when you are dieting, when you are when you're on that, path, understand you may not see all the results, because a lot of times we are so quick to want and see the results first manifest itself in the present. And that's not how it always does. A lot of times within the body, it actually takes time. Just like, a seed. The seed has everything inside of it, I am a big person, and I always like to know how is a seed and everything is basically formed or whatever. But if you got some, it's basically formed or whatever. But if you got some, yeah. So yeah, it is definitely something that's important. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Again, diet culture, it can be confusing in a lot of ways. It's definitely good to just take a moment to sit back and ask yourself what your body needs, and to always go to the source for the answer. Always do that. But when we come back, it's going to be an interesting conversation. We're going to talk about, is obesity a choice? Ooh. All right. Join us next time. Thanks.